Here's why no contact even works for long distance relationships, and why you're probably going to have to go no contact, even though that's all you got when you're long distance. Hey, I'm Coach Benny, and for 5 years I was a dating coach where I had to pay attention to what attracts other people and brings them in. And when you're trying to re-attract your long distance ex, you're probably worried about, is this even possible? How's this going to work because of the logistics at hand? And there's probably a lot of fears that you have that this is going to be hard to do. And while, yes, it's going to take some emotional discipline and, it's not going to be, a walk in the park, it's absolutely possible. It's not that much different, to be honest, than attracting your in-town ex. So first of all, to assess whether or not you even need to go no contact, what you're going to do is, simply examine who's the one texting who first right now if you guys are in contact. So in other words, if your ex is texting you first, you don't need no contact to get them back. What you need is to understand the principles of attraction. Okay? Now, if they're not texting you, if you are already in no contact or you've been the one texting them first, you need to stop immediately, go no contact, and basically figure out their attachment style so that way you understand how long to give them in no contact. And the time period that you're going to give them in no contact with a long distance partner is not going to be lengthened or shortened just because it's long distance. The time period that you're going to not talk is about the same as if they were in town. And the way that we're going to figure out how long you need to go no contact with your long distance ex for is by figuring out their attachment style, which you can do on a call with me, where you can, scour the internet and kind of hope you get it right. Now, the main thing that makes getting a long distance ex different than, say, getting an in-town ex is that as you're connecting again after a period of no contact, okay, if you had to go through a period of no contact, you're not going to be able to schedule dates the same way that you would if they were in town. And dating, ideally about once per week, is ideal, in order to drive up excitement with somebody, in order to get that commitment back reestablished. And so if you're back in contact with your long distance ex, in lieu of a date, what you're going to do is where you would otherwise, set a date for the weekend, you're going to establish some kind of FaceTime call. And that's going to be where you can talk a little bit longer than what you could throughout the week. Hopefully during the week, it was just kind of touch and go contact. Hopefully you weren't, talking too much throughout the week or whatever. And that weekend, you're either going to have a FaceTime call, or if you can manage to schedule a trip, if you do schedule a trip, then that's going to be your date. As you're dating your partner, again, you're going to do that for 2 months. And ideally, you're going to have some trips scheduled in there as long as their excitement and participation is high. And you're going to have some FaceTime calls interspersed in between. Now, one thing that's really, really important when you're trying to get a long distance ex back is that you don't schedule a long trip during this period of reattraction. I know if you're going to spend money on a plane ticket, you're going to want to get the most out of it. You're going to want to stay longer. But I'm telling you, it would be ideal. I'm not saying you would do this, but it would be ideal if you do go visit, you only stay for a night. And then by the next day, you're going back home. The reason for this is if you look at a regular date, people come together, they get excited about each other, eat dinner, have a great conversation, they go have fun, and then at the end of the night, they hook up. Next morning, they go their separate ways, and then they have time to miss each other over the next couple of days as they process their emotions from that great experience of the date. They get to think back to it, kind of get nostalgic about it, and get kind of, almost go into fantasy land in their head. If you go and visit your long distance ex on some long trip, especially during the reattraction period, you're going to spend back-to-back days together where they don't get to process their emotions. So if you do go schedule a trip with them, make sure that you're kind of only staying for like a day, maybe 2 days tops. And any more than that's really going to hurt you, and it's going to lessen your chances of getting back together. Now, if you want my help with this process, click into my profile picture. Click this link down here. Set up a call with me. Tell me your story, and I'm going to tell you how to get your ex back.